Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. How are you guys doing? Here today for a little bit delayed match reaction or match review to Inter 2 Venezia nil. Beautiful performance from the boys, and I rewatched it actually today. This morning I watched it before going to work, and it was a really good watch. I was away in London for one of my friends' birthday. Had a good, enjoyable weekend. But I was checking the score live, and I was gassed to see, the goals. And as soon as I saw the Hakan, I saw on the ticker it said Hakan goal, Chalanolu goal. I was, guys, I got gassed. Hakan, the guy that I've been trying to defend on this channel, but now I don't need to defend the guy anymore, do I? But yeah, we'll get into it. As we go along. I want to see who's in the house first. Of course, we got the Benjamin Bolivar, who's always early as well. He's very. I have to give it to him. He's in the house before I've even come into the house. But good thing is YouTube. If it was actually my house and you're already here, I'd be calling the police. But it's all good. And by the way, if you see, guys, I'm repping the Football Worldwide hat. Shouts out to the boys at Football Worldwide who came through and gave me this care package. So make sure you guys check out Football Worldwide for their content that they do. Premier League, Serie A. They do all the main European football leagues, and they cover them in very good fashion. They've got a few guys, of course, Anthony from Inter Worldwide, Mo from Inter Worldwide, and a few other guys. So make sure you check them out. I don't usually even wear my hats at the front. I usually like to wear my hats backwards, but for these guys, I got a rep. So yeah, make sure you guys check them out. Benjamin also says that it was a costly win because of the Darmian injury. Yeah, that is true. It's come, we were expecting it. We keep saying this is where we have a problem with our coaches. Is now this season with Inzaghi. Did Darmian really have to start another match? Like, I don't know. I felt like this, as I said in my match preview. He actually done me over today or the other day, Inzaghi. Or all the match. The predicted lineups. They usually are quite accurate. Sky Sports is my go-to, and it was pretty inaccurate. They said Barella was gonna rest, and Barella didn't rest. That one definitely got me because I was like, the Sky Sports, Sport Media set, all the different predicted lineups I used, they all had Barella resting. But I think it was also because Vidal got that last minute injury the day before, maybe as well. So I'm not sure whether that has something to do with it. But Barella didn't get a rest, but at least he didn't get injured. Ranocchia got injured. I'm not sure if he got injured in the warm up or did he get injured before the match or after the match. But I read that he's also injured. And then Darmian had a thigh or a quadricep strain. So it's nothing too serious, but he's definitely missing at least the next couple of matches. So we'll see how long he's out for. But it's nothing too serious. But yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a costly match. But it also means going forward now, Denzel Dumfries, we're watching you, bro. We're watching you closely. Inzaghi's watching you closely. It's time to step up. My boy Tommy, Nigerian Inter fan in the house, of course. Another regular. Great to see you, bro. Nicola, another regular in the house. What's up, brother? Sharif, another regular in the house. My brother Jake as well. Forza Inter, of course. Petros, Uncle Shams in the house. Yes, sir. Ashwin, he said, told you 2-0, bro. Defense to improve. Yeah, we both agreed, Ashwin. I think we both said 2-0, didn't we? So my prediction bag is back in action. I've been predicting the correct outcome kind of, but Inter have been winning all the matches, so it's been easy. But finally got the score line correct as well. Thoughts on the penalty? King Darian asks. Yeah, it was. I mean, if Inter got given that against us, I would have been fuming. I mean, what's the guy supposed to do? He stopped the shot first with his slide, which was a good block, and then like how is that handball that it just bounces off into his hand? Like I thought that was quite harsh, but we'll take it. Shameless goal, shameless plug for Lautaro, getting his 7th goal of the season, second on penalty, nicely slotted in the absence of who we know to be our penalty taker now, Hakan, who came off. So yeah, good to little confidence booster for Lautaro. We'll take it. I thought this was a funeral reaction for Romagnoli. Oh my God. I pray for Romagnoli and his family after what Berardi did. What Berardi did to the guy is absolutely, it should be illegal really to do that to someone, a professional footballer. But to be fair, it wasn't even like all he did was a fake shot. That's all he did. I mean, he didn't even do like some crazy skill or anything. It was just Romagnoli having the turning a circle of a oil tanker, like slipping over himself over a fake shot like that. Berardi has like two skills in his locker, and he used one of them. Yeah, but and I saw even the Serie A official account posted it today. It's like, bro, he's already down. Stop kicking him whilst he's down. But obviously, as an Inter fan, I enjoyed that. And thank you, Sassuolo, another team that I had no faith in, just like Fiorentina last week when I said I had zero faith in Fiorentina doing something against Milan. Sassuolo, they came through. Berardi, Raspadori, Scamacca coming through. And now we are at -1 point from Milan, which is amazing. Still at -4 from Napoli, but we're starting to, get closer as time goes on. Lazio didn't come through. I expected it. I was actually expecting more from Lazio. I was expecting like a draw or something, but those guys did not come through. Hello, Adrian. How are you doing, brother? Eduardo, of course, in the house as well. Um, Gagliardini to win the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, I mean, speaking of the Ballon d'Or, we can quickly give a shout out to Barella, who finished 26th in the Ballon d'Or list. So at least he wasn't last. He was on 30th. I think Azpilicueta was 30th, and then Lautaro finishing 21st. So great results for the two Inter boys, and then Lukaku finishing 12th. I mean, still giving them a quick shout out because obviously it was due to his Inter performances, really. And I think he probably should have got probably top 10. I mean, maybe if Belgium got further, he would have got. I think Barella should have maybe been a bit higher as well. But it is what it is. Good to see at least some Inter names in there in that list, which has been long time. We've been missing our players in there a long time, so it's good to see getting some international recognition for our players. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that lit. I mean, it was lit, but it was it wasn't like a crazy party or anything. It was just a nice little weekend. Um, I really want Hakan to have his best personal season with us. Yeah, let's talk about the match now of what happened on Saturday night, or depending wherever you are. Romero was definitely Venezia's MVP. I marked him out in my match preview because I am shocked and surprised that a team like Venezia were able to run Romero. I don't know why no other good team went for this guy because he's still a very, very good goalkeeper. However, he probably could have done a little bit better on the Hakan shot, because it did but it is one of those tricky ones where it bounces just in front of you, and it seemed like he almost just got his little fingertip to it. But great shot from Hakan, and this is what we want from Hakan. We've asked him for more open play contributions as well. Now we're happy with what he's doing with the penalties, what he's doing with the corners, the indirect free kicks. He's added, or he's kept that high dimension that we had with Ericsson in that sense. But we also need him to do what he did against Venezia with that shot, beautiful out of nothing. In those kind of situations, usually nothing ends up from them because their whole team is like back defending. But Hakan found beautiful, powerful shot, which he's known for, but he doesn't really score them too much. He has a lot of tries usually. And yeah, I think this past month, guys, you guys let me know what you guys think of this. If we talk about player of the month, I think probably Perisic is right up there, but I think Hakan is right there with him. You could have a good debate between who was the player of the month for November. And yeah, let me know, actually. Comment down below. Who do you think the player of the month is for November? For me, it's either one of Hakan or Perisic for sure. And just maybe even like for the the performance in the derby as well. I might just have to give it to Hakan as well. Another vital goal, which looked like was going to be the winning goal until Lautaro scored in the last pretty much the last kick of the game. So he's scoring really important goals as well, Hakan, or really important contributions. And I thought it was going to take him longer, actually, to be honest, to get integrated into this new role, because everyone keeps forgetting that he's adapting to a brand new role. And Inzaghi wanted him really badly. And you can see why finally now. It took him a little time, which was obviously acceptable. Remember how long it took for Ericsson to understand what Conte wanted from him. And yeah, like now he owns that left center mid spot. Like at the beginning of the season, it was maybe Vidal or maybe we were thinking someone else could come in and take it. But now at the moment, it's Hakan's spot to lose for sure. Hakan, Brozovic, Barella is the starting midfield. And if he continues like this, it could be his best personal season for sure. I do have my doubts about him continuing this because that's what he's known for. At Milan, he had periods like this where he would look, world class for a month and then go missing for a long time. So let's see if he's able to improve on that consistency. Even last season, when Milan were doing really well, the first 4 or 5 months up until about December, Hakan was one of the front runners for the whole of Serie A in terms of MVP when he was playing at Milan. But then I don't know if it was a contract situation or what it was, but his form dipped a lot, and that's where the hate from Milan fans a lot of times seems to come from now, because he did there. And then of course the previous 3 years that he was there, he was just not that good. He was a bit up and down. So that's where the hatred and thing comes from, I think, from Milan fans. And I don't really listen to Milan fans, but you should also, if a player has played at a team for 4 seasons, they do know, because they watch their team on a weekly basis. They're not just saying it to be salty sometimes, which I do like to make fun of them for being salty about Hakan, which they are, but not salty in terms they're jealous. They just seem to be, he just seems to live rent free in their heads. I don't know what he's done to them, because the more they're treating him like he's like an amazing player. Every day I see a tweet about Hakan, which this one makes me like him even more, and that's why I protect him, because the way that he gets Milan fans angry, I've not seen a player do that. So that's why I liked him from the beginning, even though I don't, as I said when we signed him, I don't actually like Hakan as a player, but he's winning me over as a player now, because this is not what I was expecting from his, in terms of fighting, tackling. I am impressed with Hakan, and hopefully he can continue it. But that's the thing also, Milan fans are like, oh, it won't last long. This guy is inconsistent. It's like, fine, we've got options, mate. We've got, if things are not working out, Vidal, if he's not, ill, we've got fever for the 15th time this season. We've got, Vecino, we've got Sensi, maybe, but we've got options. Obviously with Milan, they had Brahim Diaz or Hakan. They didn't really have much option there. We've got options. If Hakan doesn't work, we've got a deep squad, man. So it's not a big issue. Do you think if they don't progress in the Champions, Atalanta have the firepower to challenge for Serie A until the end? Bro, Julian, that's a great question, because these guys have been sneaking. They've been sneaking up the table. I predicted them to actually finish out the top 4 this season, because I just thought maybe this might be finally the year that they start to stumble a little bit, which it did look like at the beginning. But now they're on 28 points, 3 clear of Roma in 5th, and then they're only 3 points behind Inter, but no one's really talking about them. But I don't think they have I don't think they can challenge for the title still. Like, they definitely did good work in the transfer market, but there just seems to be a little bit, they're not as good to watch as well. Like, they don't seem to be as smooth as they've been in the past seasons. Like, because I watch Atalanta a lot and I like Atalanta, even though I don't like Gasperini, but he does make them play good football. But this season, whenever I watch them, they look clunky, they look a bit sluggish, and they do concede a little, even though they did a very Juventus-like performance last match round against Juventus, giving that 1-0 win, solid win. But they've conceded, how many goals? They conceded 17 goals, which is 2 more than what we've conceded. Wait, where is it? Goals against, 17. So it's 2 more than what we conceded. We conceded 15. So I don't know. Defensively, I'm not convinced by them, even though they are looking a little bit more solid where they play. But I don't think they have enough to challenge for Serie A, in my opinion. But they definitely shouldn't be forgotten about. It seems like everyone forgot about Atalanta. They just kind of, because obviously all the attention is on Juventus because they're doing so badly, and on the other end, Napoli for doing so well, and us in Milan being, that top 3 bit. But then everyone's forgetting the middle part of, like, Atalanta, even Roma. They're sneakily doing well, even though Mourinho's received a lot of criticism, quite rightly, but they're still right there. But yeah, we'll see. Indra says the Darmian injury worry me. Looks like 2021 is already ended for him. Yeah, it looks like 2021 is over for for Darmian. But we have to trust. Well, it's not guaranteed that we have to trust in Dumfries. To be honest, we've seen that Limone is kind of he brought on Even this match, he brought on D'Ambrosio. No, well, actually not this match. The previous match, he brought on D'Ambrosio instead of Dumfries to close out the match. So it's no guarantee that it's going to be Dumfries getting the chance. But yeah, overall, this match, I was impressed by Inter. It wasn't the most amazing performance, but it was a professional performance that did the job. You know, got the goal kind of not early on, but kind of early enough to like not being going into the halftime and starting to doubt yourself. Created lots of chances. 26 shots we had, and only 12 of them on goal, actually on target. Had more possession, and actually, one thing I was surprised about, even I looked at the stats before watching the match actually this morning, and I tweeted about it saying how like the 118 kilometers we covered this match against Venezia, which is, I'm pretty sure, I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure this is the most we've covered this whole season, which is so surprising. Like when I watched the match, it seemed like Inter were quite in control of the match, and it didn't seem so intense that everyone was doing so much running around. So I don't know what you guys think of that. Like it didn't to my eyes, it didn't seem like we were running around that much. It seemed like a very controlled performance, and the players didn't seem too tired in the end. And also, of course, it's also due to Marcelo Brozovic, the guy by himself running 13 kilometers. And we saw that one clip. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter. I wish I could pull it up on screen, but this laptop is not able to handle me sharing my screen. But there was that play around, there was the 55th, 60th minute where we're on the edge of their box from a set piece. And then Brozovic touches the ball about 7 or 8 times pretty much covers the whole pitch, and he's just playing 1-2 touch with every player. He moves around, just gliding around. Like that's what you see, like where Brozovic's running goes, and he's far and above the number one runner in this match. And now he's gone back to being number one in Serie A, actually, because at the beginning of the season he wasn't with average kilometers covered, because there's a few matches where Inzaghi substituted him at the beginning. Remember, there was matches where he substituted him around the 60th, 70th minute. So he can't get that average, over 10 kilometers really. But now that he's had a few 90 minutes, he's above the big runners of Serie A, like Rovella of Genoa, like Morten Thorsby of Sampdoria, and the other top 5, I think, was Antonin Barak of Verona. Now he's top of the leaderboard, as he usually is every season, Marcelo Brozovic. And apparently he's getting closer to a new contract. And for me Saturday, he was my man of the match. A lot of people I saw, and Inter, I think, on their social media gave it to Hakan from the vote, which I don't mind. But Hakan played, 57 minutes, 58 minutes. Brozovic played the 90 minutes to me, and I think he just controlled the match. It was one of those matches where, he kept just the ball moving. He wasn't sluggish. He didn't lose silly balls. He just kept it moving. There was a few really nice passes that I picked out on social media. If you saw on my Twitter, complete performance from me from Brozovic. Di Marco was also impressive to me in the left centre-back position. As we know, in possession, when Inter in possession, Di Marco there is like having a cheat code. It's basically like having a midfielder. Him and Bastoni, especially, this combination, Skriniar, Bastoni, Di Marco, this is basically like almost having 3 centre midfielders at the back, like completely comfortable on the ball. Di Marco had 6 key passes, which was the most in the match. So he had 6 passes that led directly to shots. Maybe could have improved some of his final decision making, Di Marco. But he was a danger going forward, as he always is. A little bit shaky towards the end at the back, as we expect from him. But overall, good performance from Di Marco. Again, another one who's getting closer to a new contract, apparently. Bastoni in the middle of the 3 was also impressive. He had the most touches, the most passes completed. The guy is just, a great footballer. He's a great footballer, first of all, but he's also, of course, a great defender. And Skriniar is just Skriniar, my captain for sure. Darmian was steady, nothing outstanding, but another steady performance from him until the unfortunate injury. Perisic, another good performance. Again, I think he was probably top 3, top 4 performers once again. Didn't get a goal or assist this time around, but always involved and always solid. Barella, again, a bit of a meh game. And of course, we got to always point out that this guy is tired. This guy should have rested. As I said, Inzaghi surprised me on this one. He done me over. I literally thought this guy, okay, he's gonna rest him for this one, but maybe finally he might get a rest for the Spezia match. Surely, but yeah, his performance wasn't great. But again, like, he gets tightly marked a lot nowadays. He gets 3 or 4 guys around him as soon as he gets the ball. But he can't always just throw the thing that he's tired. Like, he's on the pitch, so yeah, his performances are definitely dropped off. But as Interisti, we know why, to be honest. Limone not giving Dumfries a chance. He's got no choice now. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as I said, it's not guaranteed that he will start, because D'Ambrosio, that meme where he's going around each door and killing every right back that we've signed over the years. This looks like it could be another case of that, but I hope he is given confidence, because that's the only way we're able to know. Like, January transfer window is coming up. If you don't trust Dumfries, this is the period to we find out. Like, Inzaghi, the management need to ask him, like, tell us now, like, in this period, test him out, and then tell us in January, do we need to bring in Nandez as that right wing back option? Do we need to bring in someone else if you don't trust him? This is the time to do it. Dieter in the house, what's up? Good evening, sir. Hey, future Hendricks in the house as well, of course. Yeah, I don't think it was a penalty, to be honest, but as I said, I'll take it. I felt Barella came off. Yeah, speaking of Barella, Petros, I agree. I think in this match, first of all, he shouldn't have started, but even then, like, I feel like before taking Hakan off, he should have been taken off, really. I think he played 80 minutes in the end, Barella. Let me see what his stats were. Yeah, SofaScore scoring gave him a 6.9, 83 pass accuracy. Had one dribble attempt not completed, lost possession 12 times, which I think is the most in the midfield as well. Like, yeah, just I don't know. It just seems like Inzaghi is not able to trust anyone else in that role at the moment, but we'll see as the season progresses if maybe he does start to trust other people in that role. Berardi is Inter's best non-Inter player, yeah, definitely, especially when it comes to AC Milan, for sure. Tommy says he sent Romagnoli a pack of floss to help with the grassy 8Gs. Yeah, he needs to lean out his mouth. Do you think Brick Free is going to leave on loan this January? Nah, I think he's not going to be loaned out. They're going to keep him. There's no point loaning him out, to be honest. But yeah, even when he came on against Venezia, what did you guys make of when he came on? Like, there was that one cross where it was definitely Brick Free's time. At the 85th minute, he's good crossing opportunity. He just skied it over the goal. It was funny, and obviously I had to tweet Brick Freeze, but overall I thought he was all right. But you can see there was one moment, I don't know if you guys noticed, he was taking the throw in, in our defense, and he was asking, like, I think he was asking Skriniar, like, am I taking this or are you taking this? Like, you can still tell he's not really integrated in the team. Like, even that's like a small, given thing that we don't think about, but it looks like even those small tasks that are usually, decided within the team, he doesn't know whether he's supposed to do it or not. So that shows to me that he's still not really that integrated into the team. You know what I mean? But I don't think there's any point loaning them out. I mean, unless it's a Serie, if you feel like you don't really trust him, but it has to be a Serie A team, because that's the whole thing about Dumfries. Hasn't adapted to the league yet. There's no point, loaning them out to like Premier League or someone like that. And there's not a World Cup this summer, so it's not like I don't think he needs to get, necessarily be starting for his team to get his spot in the Netherlands starting 11. It seems like Van Gaal still trusts him at the moment, so I think he should be kept and should be given more playing time now, especially. Yeah, Lazio useless for sure. Ricky Buzz in the house, what's up, brother? Wissam in the house, what's up? Bokar in the house as well, what's up, brother? I hope you were doing well. Oh yeah, of course, I knew someone was going to ask about that. The juicy stuff going on at Juventus headquarters as usual. Ladri FC, Juve Merda, as we like to call them. We'll see how it develops. If you don't know, they're being investigated for falsifying their balance books or inflating revenues, and a lot of it is related to fictitious plusvalenzas or capital gains related to transfers. Most famously, the Arthur Pjanic swap, which we all know was absolute absolute shady business going on there. And yeah, quite rightly. And finally, they're being investigated for it. Let's see what comes out of it. I think they're just going to come out with it with some sort of slap on the wrist, some sort of fine. Because the only way that they would be, taking points or relegated in the extreme case would be if they can prove that they they gained sporting advantage from doing this, which I think is going to be very hard to prove in court, how this led to some sort of sporting advantage. But Juve doing Juve things, what can I say? That club is always involved in some shady stuff, and I am not surprised one bit. Gosh in the house, what's up, bro? Belated happy birthday to you. The frog, yeah, unfortunately, the frog is also injured. Another not serious injury, but we'll see how long he's out for. Another mediocre performance from Korea. Yeah, Korea was definitely one of the more disappointing performances for sure. But I don't know what you mean by another. I mean, with Korea, people are talking like this guy has had like loads of started loads of times. He's only had a handful of starts really, and his goal per minute ratio is still one of the best in the league at the moment. And he was involved in the Hakan goal. He didn't get credited for the assist quite rightly, because I think it was the player who touched it in the end. But he was the one that kind of tackled in for that ball to go to Hakan. He created another chance for Hakan as well when he did that nutmeg pass. And he also created a bit of havoc. I remember there was that one ball in the air where he nudged the guy off the ball, and it led to Dzeko shooting really close near the goal. But yeah, it wasn't a great performance from Korea. We expect better, but this is what I expect from Korea. I expect these performances of complete mediocrity where he does nothing. So this is expected from me from Korea. But all my hope is just that he doesn't do these type of mediocre performances too often. Okay, let's go back to my question that guy asked you guys at the beginning. Who is your November player of the month? Tommy's going for Hakan. Matteo Darmian, yeah, he deserves a fair shout as well. I like Adita. Yeah. I think you're right. Bokar says Hakan as well. Another horrible. I don't know why you guys getting this. Another horrible. What Korea have I been watching that you guys have been watching? I feel like we're watching. I don't think it was. I agree with the mediocre. Mediocre is definitely the right word. Horrible is definitely not the right word I would use. Skamaka's trying to get into move. Yeah. He definitely is. He's trying to get into our heartstrings for sure. Mateo says Perisic, November MVP. Yeah. Chala, goal for important contribution. Perisic showing his best wing back in Serie A. It seems quite even at the moment, to be honest. Players the month goes to Perisic, dominating that band against all our opponents. True, very true. Maybe Hakan is more suitable as Mezzala and Limon and Newer. Hakan is so safe. Yeah, he's definitely not a 10. I don't know why this guy thinks he's like a, he thinks he's like a Rui Costa type of player. He's got the number 10 tattooed on him. He's definitely not a number 10, especially in the classical view. Maybe in modern game where, number 10 is not really a trequartista. He's just more like a advanced midfielder. But yeah, he's definitely not a number 10. I think this is more suitable to him for sure. I agree with you, Indro. That's why I saw why Inzaghi kind of wanted him. He probably is more of a Mezzala than Luis Alberto ever was, who did manage to adapt to that role. But I think Luis Alberto is definitely more of a number 10 trequartista than Hakan ever was. He's much of a flary, guy who likes to dribble with the ball. Like Hakan never, I'm going to look at his stats at some point in the season, but in this match he had 0. He hardly even attempts dribble. Like he's just not a dribbler. He doesn't really take risks on the ball like that. He tries risky passes a lot of times, but he doesn't really take much risk with the ball most of the time. And he's starting to play deeper a little bit, like how Ericsson last season was coming as like the second regista at times, and I see him doing those movements well with Brozovic. Like one of them comes deep, one of them sometimes goes up. Benjamin says Hakan. It seems like actually now King Darian, I think we're back to even on Hakan and Perisic. For no, not November, so surely it's Perisic. Okay, we're going advantage Perisic now. I'm not sure who Milan fans are obsessed with more, Hakan or Donnarumma. I think in my timeline, it definitely seems like Hakan, because obviously they see Hakan on a regular basis as well. I just feel like and with Donnarumma, he's not even playing much for PSG. Um, so I feel like it's definitely Hakan for that one. Perisic, Brozovic, Dzeko, Hakan, the best players of the month. Yeah, I think that's a good list, and we can add Darmian to that as the top 5, I think, for November. Yeah, Atalanta Scudetto. I like that. Musso is, he was a big signing for them, and we'll see how important he will be in terms of performances. How long is De Vrij? I think De Vrij should be back for the next match, I believe. He was scheduled to miss these 2 matches, which he has now, and I think he should be back in the squad for the Spezia match. But let's see. And you don't want to rush De Vrij back too quickly. Back actually, when we first signed him from Lazio, that was one of my fears about De Vrij. But actually, he's been very solid physically. He was a bit of an injury-prone player when he was at Lazio, but he's I don't know, maybe he's changed something off the field or doing something differently. But he's been very solid since he's come to Inter. Brozovic controlled the game superbly, yes, but when Gagliardini Inzaghi practically give, we saw the same. In terms of the performance, again, 75 minutes, really good, and then the last 10-15 minutes maybe more edgy than we should have been. But in the end, we didn't really give any chance to Venezia. I mean, not that I really have much quality to create chances, but there's a reason why they're 19th in the table for goals scored. But I think against a bigger team, we could have been perhaps punished. But I don't know if it's just a mental thing with this Inter team at the last few minutes to kind of just sit back now, or it's the actual Gagliardini effect. Can Ginter play as a midfielder? Yeah, the Ginter things are heating up. But I think to me, if we're going for Ginter, he's definitely, I think he would be kind of like, the De Vrij backup or the De Vrij replacement if De Vrij is sold. Because I think, he is versatile. I think he has played in the midfield in the past as well, very comfortable on the ball. So I see him as a center of the 3, but he also could be the Skriniar. I think he's versatile, which is always good to have. Please rest Barella. I'm gonna have to start a petition, man. I might have to actually start a petition about resting Barella. I think Denzel needs a run of game. Hopefully, gets it now. The other DD isn't the answer. I always said, like, I don't want D'Ambrosio to be the starting wing back at any point in the season. I like for him to come on as the backup, but let's give Denzel a little run of games until Darmian is back at least. Obviously he's fine. He's well rested, so you can play him every match now. I know Tommy, he says he was critical of Hakan, but he's keeping quiet. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even have to defend him now. Surely, like, people were, even when he was doing well at the beginning, or up and down, people were straight on his back. But right now, if he keeps playing like this, why would you even criticize the guy? Like, as I was saying, as long as you put in the effort that Hakan is putting in right now, I can never criticize a player, even with Dumfries, even whatever technical ability we like to make fun of him. But as long as this guy is putting his heart on his sleeve, putting this 100% for Inter, that's all we can ask for a player. Then if he's not good enough, then he's not good enough. Then we have to be honest about that. But as long as you're putting your best for this shirt, for this badge, that's all I can ask for a player, and Hakan is doing that. I don't know about that. It's one of those. I think it's one of those headlines that used, obviously to create some traction. I think that's a very remote, like, difficult case. As I said, it would have to be if they can prove that this financial doping that Juve did on their accounts actually led to some sporting advantage that then could lead to point deductions or even into getting the Scudetto. But I don't really see that happening, to be honest. I don't see that happening. But you never know. I mean, you could probably argue in court that, but in the end, the Arthur Pjanic, like, taking an example of the Arthur Pjanic swap, did that lead to any sporting gain for them? Probably not, because I know Pjanic wasn't great for them in the last season for Pjanic at Juve, but he was definitely better than what Arthur contributed to Juve. Juve to Serie D, Juventus. Hey, man. We'd love to see that. Just learned our boy Valentino Lazzaro is one of the favorites for the Puskas. He should be, bro. That goal was one of the best goals, like, in this past decade. Like, that scorpion kick. I mean, that probably should just win it straight up. I hope he wins it, man. maybe his value goes up as well. What's up, Karim? Yeah, I actually answered it. I did like a Q&A on my IG Instagram today that I answered this question, and I said for January, Nandes, because he's more versatile. He can play right wing back, he can play centre mid, all these different centre mid roles. Or if you're Mazzarri, apparently he can play up front. So for that reason, Nandes, and I think he could probably get him on loan now that Cagliari are doing so badly, and he's probably going to try to push for a move again. Frattesi, I want to give him some time still. Like, I don't like when players are just, these had these 4 or 5 months of good form and straight away they, link with big clubs. I want to see Frattesi over a longer period, but I like what I've seen until now, and I think he would be a signing that if we do make, would be a summer signing, long term, to replace one of the outgoing midfielders like Vecino or Gagliardini or Vidal, like one of the guys leaving, and he could be that box to box, midfielder that gets the goal scoring midfielder that this team does need. But I do want to watch him for a longer period for Frattesi. I don't like when clubs jump on a player after a few good months, and we've seen that with the likes of Gagliardini and other players, especially Italian players, over the last decade or so. Correa appears to be lacking confidence, not taking people on, not shooting enough either. I don't know if it's lack of confidence. I mean, because he's coming off some good performances, like the Udinese match, and then he did that great run against Napoli. It's just how he is. He is a very hot and cold player. But yeah, I was surprised in this match. There was a few opportunities in this match where he could have gone for the shot or just taken the player on, and he didn't. But I'm also hearing that he's still carrying a little bit of a knock. He's still nursing that injury that he had against Napoli. I'm hearing that he's still doing some therapy for that off the pitch. So which was surprising that he actually started. But so I'm not sure he's still 100%, but he's definitely that's the problem with Correa. He's just so hot and cold sometimes. Nick Snock says the November definitely goes to Perisic. Okay, it looks like in the end Perisic has won the award. So the Uncle Sharma channel November Player of the Month goes to Ivan Perisic, as decided by committee in the comment section. Yeah, I agree. That's what I say with every player, man. Before you make a final decision on a player, you have to give them multiple starts. And I was the same with Christian Eriksen before Conte finally started playing them. It should be with every player. You can't decide on a player until he's given a proper run into the team. Sorry, Benjamin. Oh yeah, you gave him Hakan man of the match. Sorry, yeah, could be as well. I gave it to Brozovic, but I wouldn't argue against the Hakan either. Perisic for Hakash as well. Frattesi, yeah, I just answered. Another Perisic player of the month. Yeah, definitely giving it to Perisic now. Romagnoli and Morata players of the month. Yeah, bidone of the month, as they call it in Italy, like trash of the month. I love how we are keeping solid our back line even with changes. Yeah, I mean, we've made a lot of changes recently in the back line. Ranocchia coming in this match, Di Marco coming in, Bastoni shifting to the center and looking just as solid. But again, that's what we've been talking about at the start of the season. It's not necessarily about individual players at times. It's just the balance, and we were missing that balance at the beginning of the season. So we'll see. Lord Figo in the house as well. So Dutchman got a few assists and he needs full playing time. Exactly. Inter fans complain players too much. Yeah, people were moaning about Perisic. Look at Perisic now. Yeah, completely agree, Lord Figo. Hey, Jono. Yeah, I gave you a shout at the beginning of the stream. Thank you for the hat. Came nicely on time from all the way from in Australia. So I was checking just in case there was a spider or like a snake in there, because I know what you guys over there, you guys living dangerously at all times. Lazio right wing back is the guy for January because Lazio ain't going no way. Yeah, Lazzari was definitely a potential option. He probably could be. Yeah, at the moment he's not really adapted well to Sarri's 4-3-3 system because he's more of a wing back. But obviously, I don't know how many times he can get away with taking Lazio players now. Like the Lotito must be just blocking Inter's numbers. Like he must be sick of Beppe Marotta and Ausilio calling this guy. But obviously, an Inzaghi player at Lazio knows the Inzaghi system. He probably would be the ideal kind of instant impact to bring in if Dumfries doesn't know that. But I still want to give Dumfries time. Dzeko is keeping us in the title race. Yeah, I think this whole team, bro. I don't think this season there's anyone that's really carrying us. Like last year, at some points. Definitely was, Lukaku at some points. Sometimes it would be, Lautaro really stepping up or things like that. But this season, I feel like the whole team is really contributing on a global level. We have a man of the match that changes almost every match. We have Hakan, Brozovic, Perisic, Dzeko. But I remember last season a lot of the times it was either Barella or Lukaku or Hakimi. Everyone else obviously was performing really good, but there was like a lot of burden on a few of the players. Conte really put a lot of burden on a few players, whereas in this team I feel like everyone seems to be much more involved. I would say. Jim Hines in the house, what's up, bro? I don't think I've seen your name much, so shouts out to you if you're new to the channel. If I know one thing, it's that Dumfries is a hard-working guy, puts his heart in the game every single day. Yeah, and that's what I've heard. I've heard that he's working hard in the Pinatina at the Piano Gentile, at the training center, putting in extra work, putting in tactical work with the Inzaghi's coaching staff, and hopefully that work pays off. He still has to learn Italian. It's not the easiest language to learn, Italian, especially if you come from completely different languages like Dutch is nowhere near Italian. At least if you speak Spanish or Portuguese is a lot easier to learn, but it's hard coming if you speak English and Dutch is not very similar. So that's obviously going to be key to his integration. Nicola says Jovic is much closer. I've not really heard much of Jovic recently. Again, he's a guy that I would take a gamble on if we managed to get him on loan, but I haven't heard much of Jovic recently. So I don't know if you've heard anything more reliable from your sources in Serbia. I'm guessing if you're Serbian. Napoli or Milan, greatest threat to Scudetto defense. Obviously now Napoli are top, but I just think Milan are superior to this Napoli team, in my opinion. Obviously now they've lost those 2 matches in a row. But I don't know. When I watch Milan, I just see more depth and more, especially if they go out of the Champions League. I think they pose the greater threat to us. But Napoli could be by the end of it. I could be wrong. Can we expect the Perisic? Yeah, that would be amazing if we could, get a video call with Ivan Perisic. If anyone is Croatian in there, and if anyone's got contacts, please let me know. So, I would like one day to start, inviting players or former players. It would be nice to get, things like that happening on the channel. But I need to hustle off the pitch. I think I need to start shamelessly DMing people and trying to make that stuff happen. Adrian says he's more or less watching all top 7 teams in Serie A, and for now it seems that Inter and Napoli are the only ones without big weaknesses and downfalls. Yeah, you could say so for sure. I think with Napoli, if the starting 11 is as good as anyone, I think Napoli starting 11 when Koulibaly is fit and Osimhen is fit and they have everyone fit, that starting 11 is really, really good. But it's just that with Napoli now, we've seen, without Osimhen, I know Mertens stepped up against Lazio. But I feel like that's a big drop off, and if Koulibaly is injured, that's a big drop off. We got now. Speaking of Napoli, we got Napoli talk. My boy Dom in the house. Shout out to Barella for being 26th. Make sure you check out Napoli Talk, his channel talking about Napoli. Lobotka, shouts out to my boy Lobotka, man. I saw he had a good match against Lazio. He's a funny player because of just his build. He's like a little chubster, but I like him. I think he's an interesting player. I just don't think he's very suited to Serie A, but I'm happy to see him doing well. Lobotka, put some respect on his name. Skriniar always man of the match by default. His consistency is crazy. Yeah, I think with the Skriniar now, we're just getting to that point where we can't, talk about it every single time. But he's always just so reliable. I think he only had that one drop off against Sassuolo, where he gave away that penalty, but everyone was really bad in that Sassuolo match. The whole back line was just like stinky. De Vrij had a stinker that match as well. But yeah, Skriniar's probably right up there in terms of player of the season, in terms of consistency for sure. Nicola, oh yeah, you are Serbian. Shouts out to you and Vlahovic and them, man. If you can bring Vlahovic to Inter, that would be very much appreciated, Nicola. Definitely over Jovic. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting what Napoli will do in terms of do they go all in, but they have a tricky situation for the Europa League, the third at the moment in their level on points with Spartak. That beef developing between Napoli and Spartak is funny, but Yeah, if I was the same, I would kind of forfeit the Europa League. But I think Dom, the Napoli fan, said that he would want to go for the Europa League, which also makes sense. I hate it. A lot of Italian teams always overlook the Europa League, and I wish, Inter, the last team that kind of gave Europa League the proper treatment it deserves, like going all the way to the final. Roma almost did last year as well, but I feel like Italian teams should give the Europa League more respect because it gives you that Champions League entrance, and it's still a European trophy. You still get, if you get to the final, win it, you get a decent, monetary reward. And yeah, Lobotka is the new Brozo. Yeah, man, Lobotka. He's the new Modric. Yeah, exactly. Napoli is quite thin in the centre back department. Even though Dom likes João Jesus, but I think he's not seen the worst of João Jesus. He's only seen the good stuff till now. So we'll wait until Dom actually sees what JJ Lupo is actually capable of. But it's all going good right now. Sassuolo Napoli on December 1st. That's a game to watch after this weekend. Yeah, that should be an interesting match for sure. Vlahovic's next club should be Inter because of the Juve problems. Yeah, I mean, hopefully. But apparently, if you listen to the rumors, his agent and he's apparently, Juve seems to be the most likely club. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, closing comments on the Venezia match. I got quite sidetracked this stream. It was supposed to be, focused on the Venezia match, and then I'll do the Q or kind of answer your comments. But I got distracted by the comments. Always appreciate you guys for being very active in the chat. There was one thing. There's a couple of other things I want to talk. Oh yeah, I got in the scroll down below. Curva Nord banner. So Ivan Cordoba, the legendary Inter centre back, who is now a technical director or sporting director at Venezia. I can't remember what his exact role is called, but he got a Curva Nord banner. Just a shout out from the Curva Nord, just to remember that, you're still one of us, or the Curva Nord still remembers you, which is nice to see. Even Cordoba was, an important player for Inter over the years, one of those loyal players. So yeah, good to see that the Curva Nord, can be, they have a bit of a reputation for being, some uneducated, people, or a bit of a caveman at times, which is true. But sometimes they also come up with these good gestures and good ideas, like the banner that they did for even Cordoba. So yeah, that was good to see. What else? Speaking of the Venezia match, there was a couple of other points I wanted to talk about. Let me just see. I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, D'Ambrosio coming on as left centre back. The guy, once again, just super reliable, just plug and play him anywhere. Just just great. Vecino was also decent when he came on. So I was happy to see Vecino come on before Gagliardini. As I said, I'll always prefer Vecino over Gagliardini. I felt like he had a decent impact into the match. And yeah, someone asked actually, Sanchez should be back. He's back training with the group, so he should be back in the squad for the Spezia match. So yeah, Darmian injury, Ranocchia injury, but at the same time we've got Sanchez coming back and De Vrij potentially coming back as well. So give and take. So the injury situation isn't that bad, especially compared to other clubs. Toughest game for Inter until Christmas. I think it is Roma, isn't it? I think. Let me see quickly what the fixtures are. So we've got Spezia next, and then I believe, of course, there's Real Madrid in the Champions League, which I hope we go for. Yeah, we've got Saturday. We've got Roma away. Mourinho's Roma at 5:00 UK time. Then Real Madrid, then Cagliari, then Salernitana, then Torino. Yeah, so definitely Roma before Christmas. Although the Torino match is also, I thought Torino should be a match that we shouldn't underestimate. They're a difficult team under Juric, very good defense, and I saw the stats against Roma. They were like dominating. I think Roma ended up with like 30% possession, and Torino had lots of shots against them. But yeah, Roma is definitely, because I would class Roma as a big match, and we won the Napoli one. It's the first big match, but we need to continue winning these big matches for sure. Any news about the stadium? I saw opposition wants San Siro not to be demolished. Yeah, man, you know how it is in Italy. It's like, so it's been approved by the mayor of Milan. He's approved it, but now there's now a stage of like Moratti is actually part of this coalition that's opposed against the San Siro being demolished. But from what I heard, the mayor says that he thinks there shouldn't be any stoppages. But anyway, there's nothing. There's nothing that's going to happen soon. Adrian is the earliest it will happen is 2027. That's when it's scheduled to be, finished and launched by. But knowing Italy and the bureaucracy, probably be like by the time you have grandkids. I don't know how old you are, but it will be a while probably till we see this new stadium. Loma, yeah, they're sneakily just recovering, and the Mourinho Riesling, they're not particularly playing well from what I'm seeing. I didn't watch the last match, but I looked at the stats and they look very good. But yeah, he's doing quite well at the moment after that Bodo Glimt smashing. Where do you think we'll finish at the end of the season? Yeah, MB Games. I predicted us to win the Scudetto at the start of the season. After the Mercato finished, my prediction was to Inter to retain the Scudetto and get a second star, and I'm still going for that. I still think Inter are the best team in Italy. Overall, like whenever I've watched these big matches, I know most of the results haven't been there, but I've always felt Inter have been the better teams in all the big matches. So for that reason, it's still, even without the Lukaku, Hakimi, and Conte, like I feel like this team, and I enjoy watching this team as well. I really feel like this is a really entertaining team. So, and I think by the end of the season we'll win the title again. I might be wrong, but that's my conviction right now. Yeah, the Roma defense is definitely a weak point. Moratti is too sentimental. Yeah, but the Italian, very conservative, very emotional, very nostalgic. Moratti. Oh, you mean Marotta? Yeah, Marotta has confirmed that he will. Yeah, you thingied yourself. Yeah, yeah. Marotta actually spoke, guys. A lot of guys ask me, "Oh, what do you think will happen in January?" He pretty much answered you guys himself. And Marotta usually speaks. He doesn't lie like Ausilio. He said, it's going to be a self-finance transfer window for Inter in terms of moving forward. If things are coming in, it's either going to be a loan or if someone goes out. So I know I always say that maybe, probably I would get more views if I make more videos about transfer market and things like that. But I just don't want to make videos that sell you guys dreams, especially at this moment. I just don't see Inter being able to do much in January, in the January transfer window, apart from loans. Unless Alexis Sanchez leaves, who leaves his big salary, then creates a big gap that we can fill. Then maybe something could happen. But apart from that, as I've always said, either like a Nandes deal on a loan with option to buy, the Malanga deal that people are talking about, another loan with option. That's the only type of stuff. Jovic loan with option. Anything that's very low cost or free, that's the only thing I see happening, honestly speaking. Yeah, we'll talk about the Spezia. I'll do a proper Spezia preview. Tomorrow. Marotta confirmed. Yeah, sorry, just spoke about that. I'm confident we can win. Just wait till January and the winter champion starts to go down. Yeah, I don't even want to be winter champions. Napoli can have the winter champions, the winter Scudetto. That's always a curse. And well, not always a curse, but it was a curse for Milan last year. So I don't mind. As long as you got the Scudetto at the end of the year, that's what matters. Winter Scudetto doesn't matter. Who would I sign? I would sign, it depends on how Dumfries performs until the end of, December, January. If that's the case, that he doesn't perform well, or if we get some midfield injuries, then Nandes coming in, if we can get him on the loan with option to be a cover at centre mid, but also right wing back. And then if we can get a proper Dzeko backup, like the profile of a Scamacca, a big striker like a Belotti or a Scamacca, those type of a bit more build, a bit more of an aerial threat to Dzeko. I think that's what I would do personally. And also, I do like these seeing some centre back links as well, because with Darmian injured, Darmian also can cover centre back at times. So, if you can get a good backup centre back as they're looking at right now, that might be a good idea as well. But honestly, we're so stacked in terms number wise. I keep saying this. Qualitatively, yes, definitely you can improve. But it's hard to actually, when you look at it, is to improve this Inter team, and especially in January. January is not a window to buy big anyway. It's usually a reparation window. I don't really know what's there to repair really. Like it's especially in our finances at the moment. I don't really see realistically like who can you get in January to come and change your season. So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Yeah, I really hope we go all out against Realm because we want to finish first. You don't want to get the group winners. You don't want to get the Man Cities. You don't want to get the Liverpools for sure, the Bayerns. And yes, as I've said on my Twitter, I want someone like PSG. I mean, of course, I'd want some of the easier teams, whoever the second place teams are, the easier ones like Lille, I don't know, or Sporting Lisbon. But if you give me one of the harder ones, I would take PSG because they are very dysfunctional, and I feel like we could hurt them, especially with their front three that basically don't even defend much. Yeah, I think last year we definitely saw that physically, mentally, our players started to hit peak performance in February, whereas Milan and the other teams started to drop off then. So I hope that's the case this year as well. Can you do a half-year update for Inter's on loan news? Yeah, I'm planning to do that. So I'm gonna do a loan watch video probably in like December or something, just to give an update on Esposito, Mulattieri, and all them guys. So yeah, good idea. But yeah, I was planning on doing that. Yeah. Oh yeah, Satriano going out alone, but that's not going to make any difference to because his wage is like minimal. He's not going to open up space for anyone. Who do you want to draw in the round of 16? Yeah, as I said, definitely if we finish first, like PSG. If we finish second, yeah, like I would take United as well for sure. I would, if one of the out of the harder teams, I would definitely take United. I definitely don't want Chelsea. I definitely don't want Liverpool. I definitely don't want Bayern. But knowing our luck in Champions League draws over the last few years, I feel like we'll get one of the hardest teams as well, unfortunately. But yeah, as I said, like give me the easier teams, man. Give me like Sporting Lisbon, Lille, whichever one of the weaker teams. If Porto go through Porto, I know they're all tricky teams. Like in the Champions League, there's no easy team, but I'd rather take my chances against these teams for sure. And then obviously after in the quarters, if you get that far, quarters, semi-finals, you have to face the big teams anyway. But at least let me enjoy the Champions League as long as possible. Yeah, winning depends on Roma. They're very up and down. So we'll see. Tim joining as well. Yeah, it's rare that Tim catches a live stream. So shouts out to you, bro. Knowing Inter, even yeah, exactly. Even if we finish first, I imagine us getting the possibly the hardest, the second place team anyway, for sure. But yeah, guys, pretty much coming up to an hour. Thank you very much for joining me today. I made up for my lack of stream for the post Venezia on Saturday. So yeah, longer stream today. Just talking the talk with you guys. Very enjoyable as always. 38 people right now, which is more than I expected. So make sure you guys are leaving a thumbs up before you leave, man. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And yeah, actually for Christmas as well. I was saying I wanted to do something a little bit more for the, because I'm doing the Pupi Fondazione donations for the channel members. I think for December, what I'm gonna do is, if you join the channel, if you become a channel member, I'll double rather than match the donation. I'll double the donation. So it's £2.99, I think, right now, pounds. So if you join, I'll give £6 per if you join, and then obviously you can decide afterwards if you want to keep the membership. There's no, you're not forced to keep the the membership, but you can do whatever you want. But for Christmas, I'm going to try to do like a little bit of a bigger donation to the Pupi Foundation, because I know they do extra work for the Christmas bit, Zanetti and his foundation. So yeah, if you're interested, for December, I'm gonna double the initial pledge. So whatever, if you feel like it, as always, is not, you're not forced to do it. It's just if you want to support the channel. Like Razor of Orion here, my G. Yes, you've just caught the end of the stream, so thank you for joining. Android 17 joining. Denzel Dumfries finally will get some play times after the injury of Darmian. We'll see, bro. As we said, we'll see. Lord D'Ambrosio is right there. Hakan just to troll Milan. Yeah, we love that. We love to see that. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Spezia preview, and of course after that Spezia reaction, and after that Roma preview. I'll try to get a Roma fan on for that one. But yeah, guys, thank you very much, and as always, Forza Inter, Forza Inter Football Worldwide. Ciao.